Kí mo fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá, kí mo fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá, ayé tí mo wá o kàkà kí n jalè, kàkà kí n jalè má kúkú dẹrú, kí mo fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá. This is Omolara Olaririn, the author of Allah, a collection of Yoruba folktales. This song I just sang is very popular amongst the Yoruba people. Where did this song come from? It comes from a story which I depicted in this book called The Mute Princess. I'm going to narrate the story to you. Long ago in a Yoruba town lived a happy and prosperous people. They were ruled by a king who had a beautiful daughter but was mute. Princess Ajoke was not born mute, but she suddenly stopped talking, and no amount of effort by the king and his people could make her talk. One day, the king called all the villagers to the palace and declared, anyone that would make Princess Ajoke talk will inherit land and riches. The villagers got to work. First came the drummers and dancers. The drummers beat joyful and energetic tunes, while the dancers moved their bodies beautifully and gracefully, sure to make Princess Ajoke exclaim in delight. But no, Princess Ajoke remained mute. Then came handsome and strong warriors who wrestled courageously to get her attention. She still didn't speak. Traders came to present gorgeous arrays of fabrics for her to choose from. Bright and colorful clothes were spread at her feet, but Princess Ajoke didn't say a word. For weeks, the villagers tried all their best to make the princess speak, but nothing they did worked. Then one day, Akpaja the fisherman came to see the king, and he announced, "My king, I surely know a way to make Princess Ajoke speak." The king scoffed. Everything that can be done to make my daughter speak was to no avail. What makes you think that you can do it? Akpaja replied, "Just release the princess for me on a fishing trip, and I'll return her able to speak." The king agreed. Ajoke followed the fisherman to the river the next day. On the boat, Ajoke sat and watched the fisherman silently. Akpaja cast his net into the river and caught his fish for the day. He then did something. Akpaja pretended to catch fish and put it in a basket beside him. Meanwhile, he was throwing the fish back into the water. At the end of the fishing trip, when they reached the river banks, Akpaja opened his basket and cried out, "Where did all my fish go?" The princess looked at him in confusion. Akpaja cried again, "Truly, I caught a lot of fish today and put them in this very basket, but I can't seem to find any of it. Someone has stolen all my fish," Akpaja lamented. Akpaja then took the princess to the king and exclaimed, "King, your daughter stole all the fish I caught today. It was just the both of us on the boat, and yet all the fish I caught disappeared." Ajoke became enraged. "How dare this fisherman falsely accuse me of theft?" she thought to herself. She, whom the entire village had lavished gifts, and she refused. Princess Ajoke opened her mouth and began to sing. Kí ni mo fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Kí ni mo fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Ayé tí mo wá kàkà kí n jalè, kàkà kí n jalè má kúkú dẹrú. Kí ni mo fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? The king and his wife and everybody in the palace were shocked. Princess Ajoke spoke for the first time in many years. When the king asked the fisherman how he was able to achieve this, the fisherman explained his trick. No good person would like to be accused of stealing, so that is why I caught the fish and threw them back into the water. I was certain she would speak up to defend herself. The king thanked him and gave him all that he was promised. And ever since then, Ajoke began to speak normally as she should.